no longer Pride Month, but we're gonna talk about this anyway. What up, internet? How are your faces? Now here's the thing, I understand that this video is coming like a full month after, Pride Month ended, and so like it might seem like a weird time for me to talk about this, but it's something I've been thinking about lately, and especially after last June, where if you follow me at all on any of my socials, especially on my Facebook, I posted an abnormal amount about me and my experience as a bisexual man, and various trials and tribulations, and just generally like going on a journey like in the public eye to like become more accepting of myself, because it's still something I struggle with really on a daily basis, and I really just kind of like needed to just get all my insecurities out there, But I actually did have like one or two people, be like, why are you posting, so much gay shit or whatever. And the vibe I got from, a couple people, especially, the amount of likes dwindled on each post, is that, okay, we get it, you're bi, why are you still talking about this or whatever. And here's the thing, I did think about it. I did actually think about, why I was posting so much about this and why I've been talking so much about this lately, when I came out publicly 2 years ago, started coming out to my friends 4 years ago, so it's like not really a secret anymore. It's not really something that I need to like scream out into the universe like, hey, I like dudes or whatever. And I realized part of it, like part of me feeling like I need to validate my identity and like share it with as many people as I can, is kind of because of what I do for a living. Like let's think about it for a second. I'm a musician. I'm specifically a percussionist. And specifically, even beyond that, like the thing I'm focused on the most in my career, especially right now, is marching band. Whether that be marching band in the fall at the various schools I work at, indoor drumline during the winter, and drum corps during the summer. So that's kind of like the environment that I like consistently live in, like pretty much all the time. Now, think of the type of people you usually see in those drum lines and teaching those drum lines. Like, I'll give you a second. I have a feeling you don't need it, because I have a feeling you instantly thought straight white frat bro. Now, if your, perception of the type of person usually involved in drumline is, the straight white guy, I don't really blame you, because that's the environment I grew up in. If anything, like, not to, I don't want to single anyone out, because my experiences in drumline have, for the most part, been insanely positive and led me to who I am, but at the same time, there was a part of me that never felt like, the bisexual part of me could be accepted in something like that culture. Like, I want you to consider, if you are someone, involved in the drumline / drum corps community in any capacity, think of your drumline techs. Think of your percussion, like, techs and caption heads and whatever. Think of the people that, you marched with. Think of literally anyone in that kind of position. And I want you to think of how many people fit on the LGBTQIA spectrum. No, seriously, I'll give you a second, because it sure took me a while. Still giving you time while I take a quick drink. All right, did you go through it? Did you think? If you have to pause it, go ahead. Like, I don't really care. I'll be here when you get back. I bet you had to rack your brains to see how many fit the spectrum. And I bet, like me, the amount of members of the community that that are actively involved in the marching percussion community, like, you can count them on one hand. I can. I know 5, including me. And like, think about the career I've had. Like, I've marched in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Pennsylvania, and I've taught in Connecticut, Iowa, Texas. Like, I've been a lot of places, and the fact that, including myself, I can only think of 5 members of the LGBTQ community that are actually involved in this, that kind of says something about our demographic and the culture that we perpetuate within like this medium or whatever. I recently started thinking about that and kind of coming to that realization, because a friend of mine that I marched with at the cadets, she is the percussion director at Capel High School, an absolute monster player, and she's been a big advocate for getting more girls involved in percussion. And not just, just like, as the cute little male player at the front, but like all percussion. And she's recently making a lot of posts because, right around now is the time that, if it hasn't already, in Texas at least, that middle school directors are like picking like placements for beginner instruments and who's gonna go where. She was making posts about, hey, make sure that you're putting girls in those positions as well. Make sure it's not just, like, oh, percussion is a boys club. Like, no, get girls in there too. And that's what, led me to thinking, obviously that's something you don't, know like that young or whatever, or I mean I did, but like whatever, it's fine or whatever. But I feel like we need to make sure that we are, encouraging involvement among like all demographics, like gender, race, sexuality. Like, we need to make sure that, we're encouraging percussion as a medium of performance and expression and continued involvement past school for people that aren't, the straight white cis bros. Because here's the thing, and this is actually an experience that, I had recently. I shared a post on Instagram recently all about how, like, being silent about discrimination only allows that discrimination to continue. And I added on, like when I reshared it, I added on the story of, like my experience of primarily being a teacher in regions like Iowa and Texas. Now, for backstory, I'm not the kind of teacher that, like tells my life story to, the kids on the first day because, I want to be cool or whatever. Like, no, me making them be good is what's going to make me cool. They don't need to know everything about me. That being said, if they ask a question or something that just casually comes up in conversation, I'm not gonna hide it. Like, if the kids ask me if I'm like gay / bisexual, I'm gonna tell them. Something like that probably wouldn't be a big deal, like where I'm from in Massachusetts or whatever. But again, the primary places I've taught, like so far in my career, are Iowa and Texas. The vast majority of my students are high schoolers and middle schoolers. And I cannot tell you how many times, like, I've been in Texas 2 years now. I cannot tell you how many times, like, among all the different schools I teach, that when it becomes clear that I'm not straight, eyes go wide. And it's not necessarily, like a, what is this, thing either, like like a shame or whatever. It's not like that. It's not like that. If anything, it's just kind of like shock more than anything else, because I so do not fit really the model of any stereotypes for really anything we're talking about. Simply by being not straight, I've already broken the mold of what these people think, like a marching percussion tech looks like. Like, I love my friends, I do, but I'm surrounded by straight white boys all the time when I'm teaching percussion. Literally all the goddamn time. And the kids know that too. Like, trust me, the kids are aware. So simply by, like breaking that mold, I'm making a difference for them. But here's the other thing. I don't really fit the stereotypes of members of the LGBTQ community. In fact, like, considering, the backgrounds of some of the kids that I teach, I'm probably the first bisexual man they've ever met. Like, ever. And if anything, the eyes going wide and how they kind of like then respond to me after the fact suggests that I do not fit anything they have been taught to believe about what a gay / bisexual / whatever man is supposed to be. Like, I don't. Like, I really don't. And, I shared that. I shared that, going back to that, post about discrimination and like not being silent against it or whatever. I shared my own experience regarding, how the kids respond to me revealing that. And I got a response from a former student who not only agreed with me, but pretty much, like, in a nutshell, said that it was because of me revealing that I'm bisexual to the kids that he himself got the courage to come out. So yeah, that's one kid already who by being open and honest about who I am and being willing to, you know, kind of break the stereotype of who is allowed to be successful in the activity that I teach. Like, that's one kid whose life I've already improved. Like, that kid is now more fulfilled. I know he's happier. He's going to make something of himself, and he's going to stay involved in an activity that, if I'm gonna be real honest, he probably didn't feel welcome in before. But now he's, you know, he's gonna just freaking crush it. And that's why I'm vocal about who I am. That's why, you know, I kind of scream from the rooftops, among other reasons that, you know, again, if you follow me on the socials, like, you know about. But that's kind of the reason that this year especially, like, I was more vocal about it than I even usually am, or whatever, because it does make a difference to the kids. It does make a difference to the kids that I teach. And it's going to hopefully one day make a difference in the type of people that we encourage to, you know, continue involvement and engagement in this activity. I love marching band, I love drumline, I love drum corps. Like, I do. I would not have anything in my life without that environment or whatever. But let's be really, really, really honest, especially in light of, you know, a lot of allegations that have come over the past couple of years. It has been a boys club for far too long. We need to get more voices in there. We need to get more diversity in there. We need to get more people like me, like my friend at Capel High School, and like so many other people out there that just kind of like either quit after high school or just like kind of like stop being involved completely once they aged out, if for no other reason than they didn't think that they could be involved in this beyond that. I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of sick of douchey frat bros. And maybe I just want to see us, you know, be a little bit more inclusive as a culture, which that could apply to so many things beyond just drumline, but that's a whole other video. So yeah, thank you for listening to, you know, me rant about this. This is something that's actually like becoming really important to me. Like I'm secure in myself. Like I've reached the point where like I don't really have any doubts about who I am anymore. And you know, like if anyone tries to be all like poo-poo about it or whatever, that was an adjective, then I'm just gonna tell them to, you know, screw off or whatever. So now it's kind of about improving my field, improving diversity in my field, and helping, you know, the next generation realize that, you know, there is room for them in this. And, you know, it's not, you know, only a certain demographic that's allowed to do this. And, you know, that's a win for everyone. All right, thanks for listening. What should I rant about next? And I don't know, who's your boy crush? I don't know. I got nothing. I've been alone for 5 months. I don't know what human interaction is anymore. Help me. Until next time, guys. See ya.